Alright, today we are going to be creating a cool space glowing text with a space background in Photoshop. So first we're going to go to File, New. I'm going to create a new file with the dimensions of 7 width, 4.5 height, resolution of 300, color mode of RGB. We're going to start with the background contents white. We're going to name it Space Text. Alright, so first we're going to create a new layer and name that Stars. Then we're going to go to Edit, Fill, Contents Black, hit OK. And we're going to go to Filter, Noise, Add Noise. Amount is 100%. Distribution is Gaussian, and we want to make sure monochromatic is checked. Next, we're going to go to Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur, the radius at 0.3 pixels, hit OK. Next, we're going to go to Image, Adjustments, Levels. Here we're going to make the first input level 213. Gamma is going to stay at 1. In white, we're going to change to 232. Next, we're going to create a new layer above the stars layer. We'll name this Lens Flare. Once you've created the Lens Flare layer, we're going to Edit, Fill, Contents Black, and hit OK. Then we're going to go to Filter, Render, Lens Flare. Now I'm going to move the crosshair here to the top right corner of the screen, the viewfinder. We're going to change the brightness to 131%. We're going to check 105mm prime for the lens type. Alright, now we're going to create a new adjustments layer. So we're going to click this here to create a new adjustment layer. We're going to choose Hue and Saturation. And here we're going to increase Hue to 50, Saturation to 51, and lightness we're going to change to -5. Now we're going to take the lens flare layer, make sure that's selected, and we're going to change the blending mode of lens flare to screen so we can see the stars. Alright, so now we're going to add our text. So we're going to hit T to get our text tool. Alright, and we're using a font that I've installed called Limit Break. We have our font size at 60 points. I have centered checked, and our font color is going to be C0F4FF. Alright, now I'm going to click in the center of the screen here to type my text, and I'm just going to do my name, Clayton, and hit enter after every word. Now I'm going to go to the move tool because I want to move this to the center of the screen. And I have snap checked so I can easily center this. See, here's the center. Alright, now at the right of our text layer, we're going to double click to open up our layer styles. And starting with the layer styles, we're going to start with bevel and emboss. We're going to have an inner bevel. Technique is smooth. The depth we're going to change to 1000%. Direction is up. Size we're going to change to 5. Soften, change to 5 pixels. Our angle is going to be 95 degrees. We're going to make sure global light is checked. Our altitude is 26 degrees. Highlight mode is screen. We're going to change the color, hex code 40FAF8. We're going to change the opacity to 100%. And shadow mode is going to stay on multiply. We're going to change the color to hex code 00C0F0. We're going to change the opacity to 42%. Next we're going to go to stroke. Click on stroke. I'm going to have the size at 1 pixels. The position is outside. Blend mode is normal. We're going to change opacity to 44%. And for our fill color, we're going to use hex code 1EE2F3. Now moving on to inner shadow. Our blend mode is multiply. The color we're using here is hex code 02D0E2. Our opacity is going to stay 100%. Our angle 95 degrees. Global light is checked. Our distance is 1 pixel. Choke is 0%. And size is 5 pixels. Noise is at 0%. Next we're going to move to satin. We're going to change blend mode to normal. Our color is hex code 00B3D9. Opacity goes to 100%. Our angle will be 19. Distance is going to be 11 pixels. Size will be 14 pixels. We're going to change the contour. We're going to click the gear and make sure it's on small list. We're going to choose Gaussian. We're going to make sure anti-alias is unchecked and invert is checked. Now at this point, to make sure that we're seeing the correct color on our text, we're going to make sure to move the hue and saturation layer below the text layer so it's not affecting the text layer. We'll go back to our layer styles here. Next we're going to go to color overlay. Blend mode is going to be overlay. Our color is going to be hex code 54F1FF. And our opacity is going to stay at 100%. Next we're going to gradient overlay. Our blend mode is going to be normal. Our opacity 83%. Our gradient is going to be black to white. Reverse is unchecked. Align with layer is checked. Our style is linear. We're going to change the angle to 90 degrees and our scale to 101%. Next we're going to do outer glow. On outer glow, our blend mode is screen. We're going to change opacity to 16% and our noise to 0%. The color box is checked, and for color we are going to use hex code 04C4E7. Technique is softer. Spread is 0%. Our size will change to 21 pixels. Quality will stay at range 50% and jitter at 0. Next is drop shadow. Our blend mode is going to be multiply and our color will stay at black. Opacity 75%. Leave the angle at 95%. Global light is checked. Our distance is 5 pixels. Spread is 0%. And our size is 5 pixels. Hit OK. So that finishes our layer styles. So next what we're going to do is we are going to duplicate our text layer. You can do this either by Control-J or right-clicking and duplicating the layer. Alright, once you have duplicated the layer, I want to move the text layer very slightly, so I'm going to use the arrow keys. Make sure you have the move tool selected. The arrow keys, I'm going to move up 3 times and to the left 3 times. Alright, and now you can see it has almost a 3D effect with one text layer behind the other text layer. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to duplicate this layer 3 more times. So I'm going to hit Control-J, 1, 2, and 3. We did this to add more glow. Alright, next we're going to select the top layer of text, hold Shift, select the last layer of text. We're going to click the group icon to create a group. We're going to name this text. Next we're going to create a new layer above text. We're going to name this paint overlay. Now with the brush tool, it'll be B, going to choose the soft round brush, make the pixels size 200 pixels, hardness at 0%. Here we're going to have mode on normal and our opacity at 45%, the flow at 100%. We're going to change our foreground color to 16F2FF. Now I'm just going to paint over the text to add some glow. Now if we change the blending mode on Paint Overlay to Overlay, we'll see that the text now has a nice glowing effect behind it. Now we'll hit D to reset to our default colors. Now we're going to create a new layer above Paint Overlay. We'll name this layer Clouds. Now we'll go to Filter, Render, Clouds. Now on the Clouds layer, if we click to the right of Clouds, we'll get our layer styles. We're going to choose Gradient Overlay. We're going to change our blend mode to Overlay, the opacity to 75%, our gradient, we're going to make sure it's on small list. We're going to choose Violet Orange. Our style is linear. Our angle will change to -150. And our scale will set to 100. We can hit OK. Now we're going to change the layer blend mode of clouds to soft light. Now you see we have a sort of nebulous-like space effect in the background. Alright, now I want to add a little more of that to the background. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in another file, an image I have of clouds. So I'll go to File, Open. I'm going to go to my font images. I'm going to choose Clouds. Now I have this size to the size that I want it. Now I'm going to go to Window, Arrange, Tile All Vertically, so I can bring the clouds over into my space text. I'm going to hold Shift with the Move tool selected. I'm just going to drag it into my image. Now I'm going to close Clouds. Now I'm going to rename this layer to Clouds 2. And I'm going to move this layer to the bottom, below stars, above background. Now with the stars layer selected, I'm going to click the layer mask button at the bottom of the panel to create a layer mask. Now I'm going to select the brush tool with B. Make sure our default colors are active. And make sure our brush is set to 200 pixels for the size, 0% for hardness. Our mode is set to normal. We're going to change our opacity to 20%. Make sure flow is at 100. Now I'm simply going to paint over a small section, the bottom left of our image here, however much you'd like, to add in more nebulous-like space background. And congratulations, you have completed the tutorial and have cool space glowing text with a space background. Thank you for watching.